Hi Anna, lovely to meet up with you and do some work on your game during your visit. Really enjoyed the sessions. I thought you got a lot out of it. Your understanding of your swing and the pieces involved in improving your golf improved dramatically over the 4 days. It was fantastic to watch it progress. Just a quick video recap of the key points. I'll add another recap relating to the short game work that we did running alongside this, but this one's purely about your swing mechanics that we discussed. Big problem early in the piece was your inability to keep your head in the box. So the head would go down very early in the swing and then come up quite dramatically upon completion of the backswing. And then this obviously resulted in a very chaotic downswing as you tried to regain your inclination to the ground. And you asked during your visit what inclination to the ground was. It's the amount of forward bend you have at address. So we've established an angle relative to the ground. So your inclination to the ground at setup P1 on this particular shot was 54 degrees. And then as you go back, your inclination to the ground decreased to 51. And then it increased to 64. So your inclination to the ground is the amount of forward bend established at address. The angle established at address should be maintained throughout the swing. That's not the spine angle being maintained, and that's why we refer to it as inclination to the ground. Simply put, your head would stay in the box. So initially the session was about looking at why this is not happening. You can see from face on, you go down, then you bob up. As you bob up, you also move off, away from the golf ball a little bit. And we were looking at trying to simplify that backswing. The big problem was the initial going down. The first move you made with the knees was your knees would flex more. So as you went down, you felt like the response was that you had to then go up, and when you did that, you overdid it. So what we wanted was simplify the leg action, and that's what we're going to look at next. So the first change we made was to preset that right knee. So during the backswing, the right leg should continuously straighten all the way to the top. So here we're going to put the right leg straight at setup, and we're just going to keep it there. And this is about your third swing in, so we've not done a great deal of work at this stage. We're just identifying a key piece. And we saw that very quickly your ability to maintain your inclination to the ground and stay in the box improved. So that's your basic understanding of what's required. So the player is extending, turning, and left tilting. And the left tilting is created by the left leg flexing and the left shoulder working down. And the extension in your case is very largely dictated by the straightening of the right leg during the backswing, which also allows the hips to turn more, which means the arms have to do less, etc., etc. So it was a real sort of exercise in trying to maintain your inclination to the ground. Then the other thing we identified when we looked at the swing early in the piece was that the arms would flex quite a lot through impact because the player is bobbing up and down so much. As you flex forward, there's a tendency to hit the ground behind the ball. In anticipation of that, the arms divided very quickly through the hip. And as a result, you had very limited control of the base of the arc. So the low point of the swing was being compromised on a regular basis. So learning to maintain your inclination to the ground, keeping the arms as straight as you can throughout the hip so that the radius of the swing is more consistent and more appropriate was the big challenge during your visit. And what we said was that going forward, you need to do more of the same pieces. We did introduce a little bit of sweet spot control. Initially, you had varying success with that, and then as the session went on, you start to get better and better, and I think you were comfortable with that when you left. So what I'm going to do now is take a little look at I'm going to put your old swing here, and we see that the head, we know that the head came up out the box. As we came through the ball, we would bob up very quickly as well. So the arms were very bent. The inclination to the ground had been lost both sides of the ball. So as well as coming up out of the box during the backswing, where we would go down, then up, we would then go dramatically down, followed by a huge standing up move on the way through. And what we talked about was keeping the arms straighter, maxing out the right tilt. So we identified that on the follow through, to keep your head in the box, you're facing your target, you have to tilt to the right more to maintain your inclination to the ground. So the backswing was pretty simple. The backswing was just straightening the right leg. Once the right leg was straight, your ability to maintain your inclination to the ground on the way back improved. Now what we want you to do is keep the arms as straight as you can and max out your right tilt. You can see at that point there's a marked difference in the two positions that you were creating. So the lady on the right has got straight arms and is maxing out the right tilt. The lady on the left has lost all the right tilt and her arms are bending the most. So that was a drill swing on the right, wasn't a real world scenario, but you're starting to introduce the pieces that you need to develop your golf. And it was all about developing that really from down the line, from face on, working more and more on those pieces. At the end of your visit, I'll just get this last, one of the last swings that you made. Where you're trying to control your sweet spot, keep the club in behind the hands a little bit. We've got the bar on the floor, controlling the direction or the amount that the club can come outside during the downswing. And on this particular swing, it's a full shot. I've asked you to consider all the pieces that we've talked about during your visit. Obviously looking at down the line on this one, we'll look at face on shortly as well. So we've straightened the right leg, so we've put that move in there. Initially that's what I'd like you to do, just put it in so that you don't have to think about it. It's already in, right leg straight, it's where it needs to be at the top of your backswing. You can concentrate on turning and left tilting, so you've already done the extension. The hips are going to turn more freely when you do that. What I've asked you to do here is control the sweet spot, so miss the bar. I've asked you to keep the arms as straight as you can and max out your right tilt. So this is a real world scenario, like you'd be on a golf course. You're going to go up this ball full speed, and we saw a marked improvement in your ability to deliver the club to the back of the ball in a consistent manner during your visit. See a nice takeaway. Player who's maintaining her inclination to the ground in the backswing. A player whose club, whilst it does go out in front of the hands at this point, does not go out in front of the hands as it used to. And then as you come through, your arms are straighter and you're more right tilted at that point. You can do it more and demonstrate the pieces more whilst doing the drill. But this is a real world scenario, hitting a full shot, and you're representing the pieces required in a much more appropriate manner. I thought that was a great progression. You know, that was something that you were doing and able to repeat time and time again. For the lady on the left to look like the lady on the right in such a short period of time was a real credit to you. I mean, it's real progression throughout the visit. From face on, we talked about stabilising the upper centre, not letting the head drift forward, etc, etc. But my main concern was keeping the arms straight maxing out the right tilt throughout the hit. Keep adding more and more of the same pieces. You've got the other videos that I did showing you face-on improvements. Swing on the right now. It's starting to look more complete, more organised. The head will come out of the box once P9's been completed, once the right arm's past parallel. The hip slide has been maxed out. The rotation is pretty much maxed out. Chest facing the target. So as the extension continues, it can't really be offset, and you will see the head drift out the box. So when we're checking it, we want to be checking it at P9. And at P9, we've gone from having no right tilt, completely losing our inclination to the ground, head coming out the box, arms bending the most, to now having arms that are straighter, a head that's more in the box, and we've got much more right tilt. So we know we can do it more with the drill, so we just do the drill more often. The more we do the drill, the tidier that swing becomes, the easier it becomes to repeat out on a golf course in the real world. The three main drills that we gave you were to, first of all, really shorten the swing and sort of learn to tuck the hips under, push up out the ground, and also, you know, really, like you're doing in this swing here, really concentrate on controlling the arms on the through swings, so little swings where you max out the pieces. Don't react to the golf ball too much. Maxing out the right tilt, keeping the arms straight. Keep repeating that process over and over again. This is you doing the drill where you're maxing out the right tilt, maxing out the pieces during your visit. And again, starting to look like a much more organised golf swing towards the end of the trip. Good luck with it. You got any questions, feel free to contact me, and look forward to watching it progress over the coming months.